What do you know now that you didn't know before?
What do I know now that I didn't know before? I know that, well, before I felt that I was going to be, you know, that designer, this worldwide designer, well-known designer. I believed in my work that much. I believed in my direction, my path. I believed in all of it. I mean, I was inspired by, when I started designing, inspired by the Japanese designers. You know, when they came in from the 80s, they invaded America. That's when my designing started. So I just, I continued from that. You know, like I got the feeling, I got the looseness, I got the flow, and I incorporated it into what I do today. And it's evolving. You know, so what I know now that I didn't know then basically is that I'm not going to be that designer that I thought I was going to be. And it was funny, like once I realized that I wasn't, it was like a weight lifted off of me. You know, and then at the same time, my pastor spoke of me years ago and said that my name was going to be a household name. So I was like, oh, that's cool. I had my clothing in um, um, Ebony, Essence, you know, One Word, like all these different publications throughout the years, and Vogue, bizarre ones. And once I, and then like I would sell my garment and my labels inside. I'm like, great, it's in that person's closet, that person's closet, that person's closet. So it's worldwide. And then, you know, years later, Project Runway contacted me, and I became like literally world known because it's all over the world. You know, it's like people are still finding me. That was 8 years ago. People are still finding me because it's just getting to their country or their state or their whatever, not state, but their country. And so I have a whole new group of friends from this part of the world, that part, or connecting with me, like, oh, I always, you know, you should have won, you this, and it's like new friends. You know? So it's so funny, my son and I, they tried, he asked me today, would I rather be a successful, a very successful person, I wasn't successful, it was like very wealthy or very successful. So of course I say very wealthy because with the wealth you can gain success. I mean, let's look at what's going on again today. But we're not going there. So, and then my whole thing with success without finance. I've never worked with any other designers, like at any other design houses, like some of my peers. It's interesting because I've always felt like if I did that, I'd give a big part of me to another company, to someone else, and I just wasn't, you know, for that. And then, like, it's funny, a couple of years ago, I said, you know, I realized, you know, I could have done that. I could give you a little of me without giving you me for a salary, you know, and for a name or for more recognition. However, I chose to just go my own route. But I did work with close to another designer, John Berry, Exodus. Mm-hmm. We both had a studio together, and then we moved into a store together. We were like one of the first fashion houses or fashion boutiques on Fulton Street before it became what it is now. So yeah, and the only challenge I would say would be working with another designer is that, you know, you're staying true to yourself. You know, you're doing what you do and you do what you do best, and, you know, of course, you know, you're inspired by one another. However, you know, it could be a little difficult sometimes because inspiration, a little too much inspiration could, you know, go the wrong way. I wish someone would have told me how important it is to have the business part of it together. Finance, again. I mean, because it's like, you know, by doing it the way I did it, you know, like learning everything for the first time, everything. Just the idea of, you know, I'm like excuse me, I'm the first one and my family to really start their own thing, so I was testing the waters constantly. So I think like if I had someone to look up to as a, like if someone owning a shop, a mentor, someone having a shop, or someone that inspired me, that sort of, as brown as I am, and something like that. I think that right there would have helped me along the way. I met this guy when I opened my shop in Brooklyn. This guy named Philippe. I call him Papa Phil. Amazing. I think he was Haitian. He owned the shop. He owned the building where my shop was. He had a building around the corner. And he drove us around, showing us the neighborhood in a Range Rover. Like, that's my dream car. And I'm sitting in the back of a Range Rover, getting ready to get this store. He totally believed in us, like when he went to see our books, John and our books together, we were like, books. So we got a composition book and started writing stuff in it, and we presented it. And he accepted us, So a mentor like that, someone to, that believes in you or can give you an opportunity. I wish that we had more of those, and I think that's what I want to be to so many other kids. Whatever you need to know that I know, it's yours. So to make it easier, to make it, and I'd appreciate if you listen. Opposed to you heard me but you didn't listen, and you're still doing it this way, and then you're going to come back and ask me. That's a problem. I don't expect you to do what I say, but if you're going to repeat the same question after I gave you the answer, and that's a problem.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In high school, I took a fashion design class. No, I had to take a shop class, and there was this girl that I wanted to get to know, and she took the fashion design class. So I said, to get to know, I'll take the class. I took the class, and that was like the first time I ever got like a 75, that's high for me, on my report card. And then I got 85, like it just kept getting higher. And I found out that I was really interested in it then because it didn't work out between us. She ended up dropping the class, and I just kept excelling. So I knew that this was something that I really wanted to do. I have 4 brothers and 1 sister. My mom raised us. I'm born and raised in Harlem, actually a few blocks away from here. So I feel like I made a complete something, and I don't want it to be complete, so I'm not finishing it.
Okay.
And what else? I'm married now. I'm married and have an amazing wife and 5 awesome little people and a big person. I'm a granddad, 2 grandchildren. And I'm enjoying life now. Family. My family, watching each of them grow and express themselves, and I see a lot of me and my wife in each of them, and it's just like really strong, amazing people, and they sort of they're very encouraging. They're funny, like we laugh all the time. Yeah. We had a great family. My mom, she raised all of us, like 6 of us, and like if she was alive today, I'd have to ask her how'd you do it, and how'd you do it, because it's tough, and then being a single parent, and then it must have been really difficult, but we never knew it. We never knew that we were that family, or because we were that family. We were one of the families that everybody came to our house to have dinner. Everyone called my mom their mom. And we moved, well, like I said, we lived up here, up in Harlem, Sugar Hill, and we moved down to the projects, Drew Hamilton. and I was like in 73, 74. This told how young I am, right? You should know. Anyway, we moved there, and so it was really amazing. It was almost like moving, like George Jefferson, moving on up. You know, you move from this little tenement to this high-rise building project, but it was a great project. We lived in one of the better ones. You know, there's normally 5 of them, and there's one great one. But we lived in that one, 19th floor, and we just had an amazing family. You know, it was a great family unit. And then my mom passed away when I was 14. So once that happened, you know, everything just
Your universe changes.
totally. It was like, that was like our 9/11. Without even, so then my older 3 brothers, they chipped in and bought a house, and we moved to Queens. So that's when Queens Village, you know, bought a house. And now we're from the project to a house, and that's when I was in high school, and that's when I got into fashion during that time.
Okay.
One of my older brothers, Elliot, did he purchase it? I think, yeah, he bought my first sewing machine and my Merrill machine. I still have it. It's like my Cadillac. Yeah, he's always supported me. He believed, you know, he sort of like pushed me when I felt like, what the hell am I doing? You know, he's like, you have it, you could do it, you know. And now my family, and my wife is really a big supporter. You know, she, you know, we had the business together, the shop together. She ran it basically. You know, she's the brain, and she's talent. And I was talent. You know, I got her own shop. You know, she designed. She designed clothing. She was a dancer. She danced at DTH, and you know, so she had that background. So she understood my clothing, and she would make clothing, and we'd have our clothing in the shop separated, you know, just scattered throughout. And women would come into the shop, walking through the shop, pulling her pieces, her whole look, try them on and buy them. You know, so I was like, wait, what? You know, like, what's up with this? And then, you know, she said that, you know, we have the same name, so what do you? It's selling, right? And I call my pieces like art pieces. You know, we get them in, my clothing get them in, but yours sell. You know, so that was interesting. But she's like a major supporter. I feel that my biggest obstacle has and is, and hope not to be in the future, is finance. You know, just, you know, I just really do what I do. You know, I just have to. I find ways to make it work for me. I pray a lot, you know, and I listen and I move. You know, I don't just jump in, do things because I think it's a great idea. You know, it's like I'm like really in tune, and I listen, and then I go that way. You know, go this way, and it's worked. You know, this far. Gentrification. It's bitter and sweet. Period. You know, fashion, yeah, but just in general. You know, it's like being born and raised here and seeing, you know, how we lived. You know, I had to go 20 blocks to buy the New York Times. You have to go 20 blocks to buy fruit. You know, you have to dial 911 and hope the police will come. You know, like compared to now, the police on every corner. You know, protecting who? Then there's a fruit stand, fresh fruit. Every other block, coffee shops. Coffee, I'm from New York, right? Oh, did I say that? And you know, so it's like it's amazing because it's beautiful. It's really it's beautiful. However, it's kind of hard. It's a, you know, it's a bitter pill to swallow. Bitter pill to swallow. It's you know but it's evolution. You know, it's not like, you know, the people that were here are gone. They started a whole new life somewhere else. And for the few that are still here, it's I don't know. I don't know how everyone's seeing it. You know, because everyone thinks it's amazing, and you know, as far as fashion, it's kind of interesting because my clothing are multicultural, so they basically it lends themselves to anyone. You know. My most memorable experience was when Magic Johnson did a salute to African American designers, and I was in the tents, and I was chosen as one of the designers, and it was an amazing show. It was like I didn't really have to do, like when I put on my shows throughout the years, you know, it's my concept, it's me working, making 95% of the clothing, selecting the models, watching them walk, designing the logo, stamps back then. And with this show, you know, in the tents, it was, they had invitations, they had all of the guest lists, they just wanted who I wanted to be there. They had all of the models, and it's so funny, they sent this beautiful model to me and asked me, can I use her? Like, can you use her? I'm like, yeah, she's perfect. She's like my natural, wholesome beauty. We're talking about Leah Capetti. She was the girl that they said, can you use? Little did they know, three seasons later, she'd be the top girl. And I was like, of course we can use her. She's beautiful. Look how, she's just natural, you know? She came in, and I see her from time to time. We talk about it. Oh yeah, I've designed costumes for Alvin Ailey. I've done Apex a couple of years ago, Francesca Harper, Desmond Richardson, I've done Dwight Roden, that whole team. Complexions, I design costumes for Complexions. And from that, I think that several photographers connected with my work and some of the dancers, and they've just been shooting them amazingly, like my clothing flying through the air, and you know, it takes it to a whole nother level. Dancer of Harlem, I've worked with several of their dancers, and they're photographed in my clothing. I've never designed costumes for them. I only designed for Alvin Ailey Complexions, and I'm looking forward to doing something with DT, Dancer of Harlem. My wife used to be a dancer there. That's actually when we met. She danced at Dancer of Harlem. So it's, you know, it's dance and fashion. It's like, it's all one, you know. So I'm excited to be in that. We call this hat wrap. This is a hat, boom, boom, boom. It's basically like a little cap. And I'll use myself as the model. You can actually bring it like this and wrap it like this when it's cold. Then it's actually a hat wrap, so you can actually just grab it and twist it up and boom, boom, boom. Bring it around, tuck it, fill it up if you'd like. And we actually have it in colors, just in case, you know, people that love colors out there. I have a dear good friend, she doesn't wear black. She only wears colors, so I think she should have one of these. And we have little caps, skull caps. I've done skull caps forever. It's like Sean, or P. Diddy, right before he named Bad Boy, I was doing hats for him and his group of people. And Usher, he came to my apartment. He brought Usher to my apartment years ago, and Usher's first album, he's wearing my clothing, the big sweater, and which is very similar to the one I have on now, and a hat, a little skull cap. Yes, I've been doing accessories off and on, and now Alicia Keys is wearing my scarves. Erykah Badu has worn so many of my clothing, and we reconnected, so we're about to do some more things in the near future. It was on the outside of the tents. I staged the Guerrilla Fashion Show, in front of Donna Karen's line. So it was like they were, Stephen Gann, fashion editor of V magazine now, but he was out taking pictures, and Bill Cunningham, Bill, he took pictures, and it was in Woman Wear Daily, it was In Vogue magazine, and it was cool because Tyson Beckford, when he first started, that was like one of his first shows. I had him parading down the street. My studio was on 42nd Street, so we walked one block down the street in a line. One guy had a boombox, and it was rain, and it was beautiful. Coco Mitchell was one of them. Lloyd Samuels, Richard Elms, that whole group when they did the Calvin Klein. Remember the Calvin Klein fragrance? All of those amazing models. They were all my friends, and they all just came, and I dressed them all, and we walked down. Yeah, Wayne Sterling, he's a writer, amazing guy. Just amazing people came together, and that's how it used to be. I don't even know. I know models now from Facebook, and they meet me on the street. They remember me, but it's not the way it used to be. It used to be like with fashion, we were all one family. All of the Epperson's doing the show. I didn't have to call people; they would come. Coco, Magic. Remember Magic?
Yes.
Of course. Raj, the Jersey Girls. Oh man, it was like really amazing how we all came together for each other, and now it's like we don't even know each other. I know those people, but the new girls, the new guys, they are so busy competing with each other that they don't even know that they're in this together. If I didn't get the job, I want you to have the job. In '89, I modeled, so I went to Paris and everything, and I would share my castings with my friends. If I didn't get it, please get it. Not I'm holding it to me because I'm that face they're looking for. I'm that black, that black one black face they're looking for. Come on, we can do this. And it's like we're going backwards. It shouldn't be, how come there's only 3 black girls on the runway? Today, like after all at Beth Ann and, me, turn that whole thing around, as far as it's like us working together. We have to do this together. Once we realize who we are, as a group, then we'll be able to conquer, like we've done in every other thing we put our minds to. It's like, here we are, we're panicking sort of like what's going on in the world now because of the presidential stuff. And, and there's so many of us that are still not even getting it. It's like we are friends that, talking about how Hillary is, and then they bring in all of her baggage. Okay, which candidate other than Barack Obama didn't have baggage? Of course she has baggage, but she has experience as well. And then with this other character that's coming in that could possibly be president by the time this is aired, he relates to us as the blacks. That's enough for us to realize, what are we doing here? What voices are, how loud are we not speaking? And then then this jumping back to fashion, it's like we have to, if we recognize who we are, then they'll recognize who we are. If we're here to support, then we will be supported. But if I'm this model from Nigeria, and I have this look, and I'm better than the guy from Senegal, and I'm better than this guy, and the Ethiopian, forget it. It's like all of that. It's like, wait, look at that, look at all of those beautiful brown colors you just put together. But then if one of us do it as a designer, if I pull all black models together, then it's like I'm being racist, or now you're gonna try and throw that at me. So it's crazy. This whole thing is like, I can't do African prints because I'm African American. But a white designer, he can do models with cornrows walking down the runway, all white girls. And it's amazing. So like, where are we with this stuff? I would say that my biggest accomplishment is being the great dad that I am. Because I, again, didn't know what that was, like growing up with one. So I feel that my oldest son, he's 35 now, 36, and I think I did a great job with him. And and my youngest now is 6, so they tell me every day I'm the best dad, best. So I think that was my biggest accomplishment. As far as if we're talking about fashion, my biggest accomplishment was that I'm still doing it. I feel that my legacy, I would like to be remembered as someone that cared, someone that's generous, someone that's available, however I could be used, however I'm needed, that I appreciated life, and that if you believe in yourself, then others will.